Why do we hide our true colors from people? Why are we so afraid to take off the mask? I was thinking of years ago when I had this neighbor friend, and her name was Sandy too. She was Sandy Walter, and I'm Sandy Wyllie. And we always took each other out every year for our birthdays. It started when she turned 60, and when I turned 50. No, 40. When I turned 40, we were 20 years apart. So when she was 60, I took her out to celebrate her 60th birthday. And when I turned 40, she took me out to celebrate mine. And then every year we made the effort to get together and treat one another. When it was her birthday, I treated her. I bought lunch. And it was always like a formal sit down restaurant. And when it was my birthday, she'd buy me lunch. And what happened one time is it was my birthday, and I wore this dress when I went out with her, and she told me that she wanted to lose a lot of weight because she was going to her high school reunion. And it was her turn to take me out for my birthday. So she said, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to take you to breakfast instead. Like at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was not ready at 8 o'clock in the morning. I do a lot of work all morning. Even though I get up between 4 and 5 every morning and do a lot of writing and do videos, I am constantly busy up until about 12:30, 1 o'clock. I work all morning. I really work straight through from 5 o'clock, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like 7 hours a day. I did not want to, have breakfast at 8 o'clock. I didn't want to go to this crummy restaurant and it was my birthday. It was supposed to be what I wanted, right? She was treating me like I treated her to a beautiful lunch. So I ended up going, and she ordered oatmeal, because she was on a diet because she had to lose weight for her high school reunion. And I don't know what I ordered, but I hated it. I hated the restaurant. I hated the whole thing. It was just horrible. But I went along with it. I put on a pleasant face, and I should have said, I really don't want to go there. It's my birthday, and I understand if you don't want to go to lunch because you're trying to lose weight. But I forced myself, and I acted like I really enjoyed it. Oh, it was a nice breakfast. It was like a hole-in-the-wall piece of shit. I don't know what I ordered, but it was like flat as like, it was like eating cardboard. Or maybe I had a pancake or a crepe or what. I don't know what it was. And I've done this countless times with countless friends. People, my friend Linda calling me at work when I'm on the job to talk about her problems, instead of saying, hey, Linda, I can't talk now. I'm on the job. I'm working. Again, I go through the motions and, act like, oh, it's nice to hear from you. Oh, I'm so sorry you're having guy trouble. It wasn't some crisis she was going through. It was just guy trouble. She was a divorced woman, and she's dating guys. She dated a married man, and she's having all these guy troubles. And I listen and offer her advice, but mostly just listen. I'd only give her advice if she asked me to. Like, what do you think? What do you think? He never gives me his phone number. I never been to his place. What do you think? I said, that sounds awful suspicious, Linda, that you can't call him and you've never been over his apartment or house. You've never been to his place. Maybe he might be involved with someone else or even married. because she asked me, what do you think? Do you think he, you know? But so many times I was afraid to show who I was because no one liked me. Even my therapist told me I was no good. Dr. Richard Geis, a Harvard psychologist, love bombed by a Harvard psychologist. These were his exact words to me. I didn't want you. You were too demanding, too intense, too emotional. You wanted too much attention. This is what he said to me. And so I knew, because I have borderline personality disorder, that, you know, I had to try to, you know, suck that up and wear a, you know, a somewhat normal face. I got sunburned yesterday, yeah. I thought it's nice weather. I would do the video in the backyard. But anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about wearing masks, why we wear them, and how it feels like to finally be myself. And I'm going to tell you how it does feel like not to have the mask on anymore and to be myself. And I'm going to start that right now. Hi, my name is Sandra Wyllie. In case you didn't know, you haven't been here before, this is my mental health channel, but it's outside today because it's a gorgeous, hot summer day, where I talk about my own personal struggles, have a borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety and depression. I talk about narcissism, mother wounds. A lot of you like my mother wound video about my narcissistic abusive mother, schizophrenia, and I write a childhood memoir, Life with My Schizophrenic Father. I also have my new book out, Soldier Girl, and this is the back of it. So that's available. But I only come on as a former patient. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Now, since I've ripped off the mask and have been myself, I found out two things. One negative thing and one positive thing. The positive thing is I finally have 100% freedom to be me, all right? I don't care anymore what other people think of me. I'm myself. I set my own boundaries. I don't go along with what people do just to please them, that fawning type of behavior where you're a people pleaser, where you go along with the herd because you don't want to disrupt anything, and you want to be accepted, you want to be liked. So what happens? You go along with people even though, you know, you do what they want to do even though you don't want to do it. You're there for them even though it's intruding on your time. You're not putting up any boundaries. Or you're acting, you know, you're letting them walk all over you and not speaking up for yourself because you're afraid to make waves, you know, to disrupt the relationship, to have any conflict. You don't like you know, you're afraid of conflict, you're afraid of abandonment, you're afraid that people won't like you, accept you. You want to be liked, you want to be that person that people can go to, that people can trust and talk to. And so now that I don't do that, I have the freedom. I have total freedom just to be me. And that feels wonderful. It's wonderful to be me, not to have to pretend, you know, and to put up the boundaries to say, no, that's not okay with me. But that's the positive side of it. Now, the negative side of it is I'm very lonely. I don't have any friends. Why? Because now I don't tolerate the behaviors that I did tolerate when I had friends. I won't let people just call me up and say, late, 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm in your neighborhood with my sister. I want to come over and visit, No, I'm tired. I've been in the sun all day, and then I cooked dinner for my son, and he just left. I don't feel like seeing you and your sister right now, even though you're in the neighborhood. You don't invite yourself up to someone's house. I could have just said, no, I'm sorry, I'm tired, I'm going to call it a day. But I didn't, you know. I felt bad. She said she's in the neighborhood. She said her sister's here and her sister wants to see me, how they twist it and turn it like. So it really makes you look like the bad guy to say no. Oh, please, can you give me a ride to the hospital? I have to have this procedure done and I have absolutely no one to take me. Can you please do it? And then you feel guilty, Well, why can't you take an Uber or a taxi like everyone else does? So then when I stopped doing that, I lost a lot of people. And now I have no friends because I'm myself. I'm not a people pleaser anymore. I have boundaries. I speak up. I don't let people walk all over me. I don't agree to things that I'm not comfortable with. And so it's lonely. On the one hand, I have all the freedom, that I have from taking off the mask and being completely myself. On the other hand, I'm very lonely. Now, in my mid-50s, when I started doing YouTube videos, I lost a lot of friends from high school because they didn't understand, they didn't approve. They did not approve of my karaoke or my reading my poetry like this. What I used to do, I called myself the bras and panties poet. How many of you remember me from back then when I was a bras and panties poet? And I'd read a poem only in my underwear and bra on my YouTube channel. And the girls from high school said, why are you doing that? Why don't you put your clothes back on? Why do you have to do it that way? They'd question everything I'm doing. It was just trying to be, I don't know, unique. I was just trying to be original, be unique, not be like everyone else, get people to enjoy poetry. There was this news channel that the broadcasters or the news people used to, tell the news in the nude. Someone told me that is true. I don't know where it was or what country it was or what station it was, but they would stand there and read you the news totally in the buff without anything on. And it, I guess a lot of people watched the news back then because of that. So I try to say, I thought the same thing, see? I thought that if I read my poetry in nothing but a bra or underwear, that I could get people to watch just because, oh, wow, look at her. She's only wearing her bra and panties. And then they might enjoy or get into my poetry. While they're watching me, they're also listening to me read my poetry. And I might read you one. She lost her oxygen as the cord wrapped tightly around her neck like a python. She, a girl, was not pink. She came out blue from the beginning. She lost her core after her mother plucked her pearls, falling to the floor, swept up with the dust like a piece of furniture. She lost her softness after she was pounded as a pillow. All the goose feathers flying in the air, the stuffing knocked out of her like the Thanksgiving turkey, minus the gravy. She lost her father to schizophrenia at age 2. He to woman, gambling, and booze. She lost her stuffed rabbit. She had a habit of leaving things behind, like friends and jobs and memories. She blocked out no shade of blackness. Light only makes things gray. And that poem was published in Oddball magazine. How apropos, because I'm an oddball, and most of my poems are published in Oddball magazine. But anyway, I hope you buy that book, by the way. So now, I dropped all the girls from high school, maybe a couple, maybe 2 or 3 people I've kept friends with. And those 2 or 3 people have accepted me 100% the way I am without questioning me at all. You don't owe anyone an explanation, okay? I want you to realize that. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone why you're doing this, why you chose not to have children, why you chose not to get married, why you chose to be in a relationship with whoever, a man, woman, or, you know, as long as it's consensual adults. And, you know, you don't have to explain anything. You don't owe anyone anything. It took me almost, you know, to 60 to see that. And I lost a lot of people along the way. But a couple of people are still around that don't question me, that do accept me. But I don't really see them much. I'm only friends with them on social media. I'm happy. I tell them I want to get together with them, but they don't live very close to me. And I guess, you know, 2 people really want to have to make the effort for a relationship to work out. It takes 2 people willing to make the effort in the investment, because friendship is an effort, it's an investment, and both people have to be invested in it for it to work. But so this is what happened. I weeded out a lot of people out of my life since I'm myself and I don't wear a mask. And yes, it's lonely, I'm not going to lie, but I treasure the people that I do have in my life. There's only a few of them, but I do treasure them because I can totally be myself with them. I am totally free. I like myself better. I didn't like myself always going along to please people. And, you know, I was hurting me. By saying yes to them, I was saying no to myself. I was hurting. By pleasing them, I was hurting me. And that was not okay. And that's not okay for you, too. So there you go. I gave it to you. I gave you the positive side of it, and I gave you the negative side of it. And I'd love to hear what you think of it. Now, if you're interested in this book or any of my other books, the links to these books are down below in the description. If you'd like to help support my channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link to that is down below in the description as well. You can email me. My email address is down there. And if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button on the lower right-hand corner. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. It's 100% free, so stick around, take a chance, give it a thumbs up, like it, share it with your friends, your family, on your social media platforms. I did a live yesterday and only a few people showed up. I just did it spontaneously. You know what? You can still watch that live on the replay. We talked about a lot of fun things, and I showed a lot of my old karaoke videos in that live. So just fast forward to the beginning, because the first half an hour, there was absolutely no one on there, so I didn't say much in the first half an hour. But if you want to watch the live and the replay, go ahead. Just fast forward the first like 30, 40 minutes of it, and then try to catch little pieces of it. I talked about getting stung, the hornet's nest, my karaoke, and I had a conversation with a couple of people on there. All right. Till next time, you take care and have a great summer's day. Bye-bye.